Where do I start? Good evening, guests, dignitaries, kings, queens. Thank you very much, Robin and Margaret, and also Universal Peace Federation. I would like to start really by just saying, looking at everybody here is my brother and my sister. And that's why I teach my young people in the school I've been teaching for the last 15 years. And I teach them, everybody around you are your brother and your sister. And if you could start with that approach, you treat your brother and your sister in a peaceful manner. Now, again, I've not written anything. I'm a person, I'll sit down and whatever comes to mind, I just say it. But I'll just step back 15 years ago. I was at an event, personal development event, and a young lady left the event and went outside on a peace march. And I looked and I thought, what's she going on the peace march for? You're not going to retain, you're not going to benefit from going on the peace march. And she came back and she shared what she did. And on that day I thought to myself, well, hold on. If you don't get up and do something, it's always going to be the same, right? So I took it on 15 years ago to go out there and to be the change. I hear it, be the change you used to want to see in the world and all that. And I've realized that, but do people actually take notice of it? And I've realized I'm going to take notice of it. And my approach, I'm going to use with as many people as I can, and hopefully they'll take it on board and they'll start to influence change in the world. Now, we look at the words up there. How many times do you see peace up there? Several times, right? So I don't know where to start, but there's lots of dimensions to me. But I look at the word peace. And the acronym that I've created for peace, people first. Whether you're good, bad, whether you're in poverty, whether you're rich, whether you've got neighbors, whatever, people come first. And I teach the children, put the people first. E, equality. We must start to treat each other equally, okay? A, I teach them is to accept. We need to accept each other for who we are. Whether you're tall, whether you're short, whether you're from a Muslim group, whether you're from a fascist group, we need to treat each other. We need to accept each other, okay? So people, equality, acceptance. C is the key word. We don't communicate. We need to communicate. Unless you communicate, I've been in situations where people look at you, no communication, just look at the color of my skin, the way I talk, or whatever, and without any form of communication, that person hates me or dislikes me. Why? Let's sit down and have a communication. Let's have a discussion. I teach the children people, equality, acceptance, communicate, and E, the last one, we'll learn to embrace each other. And this is what I teach my young people. Now, I've come up with an idea, a concept that I was blessed with, and I love this approach to my heart and my soul and my core. If you look on the board, and I sat down here, 2024 is up there, right? This symbol means peace to many, many people. So my first approach is, here is the world behind us with 8 billion people. And I simply just ask everywhere I go, just 2 simple questions. The first one being is, would you like the world to be peaceful? And many people will answer yes. But then I ask the second question. Rather than on the world stage, let's narrow it down to just one individual person out of 8 billion people. And then I ask the second question. And that question simply is, are you at peace in your world? And when I say that, a lot of the young people that I work with will say, yes, sir, I am. Some would say, well, no, not really. But then I say, if you're not at peace in your small world and you'd like the world to be peaceful, how is that ever going to happen? So using the 2 peace symbol and one I've created, the 4, simple number 4. I want to use the number 4 and connect everybody around the world. That's the one thing. Well, there's a few things that we have in common, but one thing I'm using, 4 o'clock I teach my students, is peacetime. And if at 4 o'clock you can look and think, who could I make peace with in my world? And if I was to reach out and simply make peace with the next door neighbor, or boy at the school, my mum, my dad, if I, one person, reached out and did that transaction with somebody else at that moment in time, I say to them, we'd have just contributed to the world being a more peaceful place. So the 4 levels I work on is, firstly, I need to be at peace with myself. If I'm not at peace with myself, I'm never going to find peace. There's never going to be a peace outside of me. The second one is, I say, be at peace with your family. And that is your brother, your sister, your aunts, your uncles, your whole family network. And the third, where you live, be at peace with your neighbors. And the fourth one is when you leave your home and you go out to your community, your world, be at peace on those 4 levels. And if you're not, and you can find the power within yourself to make peace with the person that you're not at peace with, it's so difficult for the world to be peaceful, but it's so hard for us to make peace with people next to us. But which one is easier? The easier way is to reach out to the person that you're not at peace with. But I teach my youngsters, if you can do that, you would have made their world more peaceful. Your world also becomes more peaceful. And the world that we all share just becomes a little bit more peaceful. And that's what I promote to my young people. So they call me the peace man, which I love it, and they do this to me. Now, I know in some countries, this is not a symbol that's used. I understand that. But let's use the other one. So time for world peace, which one I created 14, 15 years ago. This one, let's call that one, well, time to make peace. So at 2 o'clock you could make peace, or 4 o'clock you make peace. I teach my people wherever I go, wherever time you choose to make peace, it doesn't matter. Just do something. Empower yourself, make a difference, and go out into the world. We all want peace. But how are we going to achieve it? As you were saying earlier on, all of the wars and the atrocities around the world, sometimes I just feel like giving up. I'm really being honest. When I turn on the TV and listen to what's going on to my brothers and sisters around the world, I think, well, how can I make a difference? But you know what? I will just keep on knocking on doors, making a difference, creating communities around the world where we are teaching our young people, the next generation, a new approach to peace. If you want the world to be peaceful, you start by simply making your world peaceful. And by connecting us at a point in time, I teach them at a point in time, 4 o'clock, you and I will be thinking the exact same thing. It's time for world peace. Thank you very much.